live with your own failure. Where did that bring you? Back to me.
I'm here with P. Bundy, let's just say that, you know.
What's up?
And last night we saw Endgame, Avengers Endgame. Runtime 3 hours long. It did not seem like 3 hours to me. Did it seem like 3 hours to you?
Nope.
Nope. But this is a spoiler review, so be ready because there are a ton of spoilers. I mean, the marketing for this movie, they did it good.
Yeah, they did, honestly.
Anyway, spoilers, click off now, go watch the movie, come back, and watch this. First thing I want to say, they killed Iron Man. They killed Iron Man.
Yeah, also Black Widow died too.
Black Widow died, that's true. But, I mean, it was all set up too perfectly. Because, for me, it started slow. It started slow for me. But it started getting faster, and, like, how they had the plan to go back in time to get all the stones, and that's how Black Widow died.
Yeah.
Her and Hawkeye went back to Vormir before Thanos got the Soul Stone, and then it was like Goosebumps because you don't know who was gonna jump off, and you thought Hawkeye was gonna jump off, then she grapples him, and then he falls.
So basically, what happened was, they needed the Soul Stone. So they went back in time to get the Soul Stone before Thanos gets it. And so they didn't know that they had to give a soul for a soul. And so it was just Black Widow and Hawkeye. So they fought it out to see who was going to jump off. And so Hawkeye, I think he was the one who took the first move to jump off.
He took the first move to jump off, and he almost jumped off. But then, Black Widow shot her grappler thing at him and hooked him and her to the cliff. And then she just basically convinced him to let go.
Yeah. And because he couldn't reach over because it was stuck inside of him.
Yeah, it was stuck on his belt buckle on the side, and they're hanging down, so he couldn't reach the grabber. And they kind of just let it happen.
Yeah. And then he woke up, and then...
But just like Infinity War, he was in that pool, and then Soul Stone was in his hand.
And then, so that was the first one.
I would also like to say, I like how they added Doctor Strange and all that in the Battle of New York.
Yeah.
Because it was mentioned that there could be, if they go back in time and they do the stone movement, that they would go back in time and maybe Doctor Strange's Sanctorum would be there. And I wasn't sure if they were going to do that, but they did. And they were able to add that in. That was kind of cool.
Yeah.
How they filmed it.
While the first Avengers. So it was, who was it? It was Ant-Man, Tony, and Cap
and Hulk.
And Hulk, yeah. And so they
Professor Hulk, by the way.
Yeah. So Hulk, he can control himself. So it's basically
half and half. Bruce and Hulk together.
And so Bruce can control Hulk now. And it's just basically him being Hulk. And so they go back in time to when the first time Avengers assembled.
The very first Avengers movie.
And so they went back in time to try and get the
Mind Stone, Time Stone, and Space Stone.
And they were trying. Hulk went for the Time Stone, and my thing was Hulk said that Doctor Strange gave up the Time Stone to save Tony Stark's life, and what she said was
the ancient one, by the way.
Yeah. What I forgot.
She said or maybe did I give it up?
No. She said I don't remember. She said something about making the wrong choice on Doctor Strange. And so I was thinking through the whole entire movie, maybe since that happened, they now know that Doctor Strange isn't going to be Doctor Strange no more. He's just going to have his surgery.
Yeah, that could be true, but I mean,
but then
that would alter the future.
But then
we'll get to the end. Trust me, we'll get to the end. Anyway, to fast forward, right before we fast forward, when they showed Tony Stark, my heart dropped because right when you see him on the ship, he's skinny, bro. You can at least see his ribs. He is so skinny in the first 15 minutes of this movie.
Yeah.
And like
He's
like,
losing oxygen.
After seeing him like that, I was like, bro, like in the trailer, you know how like talking to his helmet, he did that in the movie, but like they cut out the skinniness of him.
Yeah.
And it was like so amazing to me. But the way how it opened, I think that was a smart way to open it.
Yeah.
They opened with Hawkeye's family vanishing.
Yeah. Because Hawkeye, he just kind of left for a while.
He kind of just left and became a vigilante.
Yeah.
Or Ronin.
Yeah.
They never said Ronin in the movie, but we know it's Ronin. So we get halfway through, and they go back in time to Morag, the first Guardians movie, to get the Power Stone. So they're waiting for Star-Lord? Yeah, they're waiting for Star-Lord, past Star-Lord,
Oh, yeah.
to go into the temple to get the Power Stone. And then they were waiting, but since Nebula and War Machine were there, and then there was the past Nebula,
Yep.
they connected. And so when they were on Thanos' ship, they saw War Machine in Nebula's eye. So they went to Morag, abducted War Machine and Nebula, and then after that, what did they do? They did get the Power Stone.
They got the Power
They got the
Stone.
Power Stone.
But Nebula was left behind because the past
yeah.
Nebula got inside of her
Yeah,
head.
because they used the quantum realm things to go back, but the past Nebula got inside her head, made her malfunction her quantum realm thing, and she couldn't travel back, so she tried to call the Avengers to help, but Thanos already was there and abducted this. And I just thought about this. I should have said this right at the start. I'm sorry. In the first 5 minutes, they kill Thanos, or should I say, the future Thanos. So basically, Thanos is on his farm. He's limping. His arm's all shrunk because it's all burnt. So it's like, oh, shrunk. And then, of course, they come in. They cut off his arm. Well,
The gauntlet.
The gauntlet part. And the stones were in there. So he basically said, I destroyed the stones. The work is done. I am inevitable. And then Thor just cuts his head off. And then Captain America's like, what'd you do? And he's like, I went for the head, and he just vanished. Thor just went away, and I had to add that. So then when we're talking about Thanos, we're talking about past Thanos in the Guardians universe.
Yep.
And then when they abducted her, they got all the stones, right? Because War Machine came back with the Power Stone.
Yeah.
And they all put it in the Stark Gauntlet, which I had a feeling there was going to be a Stark Gauntlet. I had a feeling. And so Hulk put on the Stark Gauntlet, and then he meant to snap, like, because it's on the right hand, and of course they thought, oh, if we just snap and reverse it, then the ashes people could come back, and they snapped, and everything seemed fine. Next thing you know, you see Thanos' ship, and then it just launches the first wave of rockets into the Avengers HQ,
And then Ant-Man.
It just falls, and it's all broken, and everyone's like scattered, and War Machine, Hulk, and Rocket were trapped under the building.
Yeah.
And Hulk was like holding it up for Rocket and War Machine.
So when they snapped the finger, it was Hulk that snapped it and so Ant-Man went over to look outside and he saw birds because
Like half the population, and also the animals kind of went too.
And so they didn't really see any animals, and then he started seeing birds, and then it just blows up, and you see him flying back.
Yeah, you see him like a fly back, and I was like, is Ant-Man just dead? Is that it?
I thought Ant-Man was dead.
But no, he shrunk in time. I think when he went back, he pushed his buttons and shrunk, I think. And then, okay, all the Avengers were scattered and everything, and then you're like, oh crap, how did Thanos get there? It's because past Nebula, that still loved Thanos before she turned good, past Nebula, she disguised herself as the future Nebula, and then went and put Thanos' I like how they shrink the ships, so there's just a small little Thanos ship, and then when it comes out, it just goes and just
and it just goes through the whole entire roof.
Yeah, I kind of laughed at that scene, but it's like, you're like, oh crap. Yeah. And then we get to the beginning of like Robert Downey Jr. said, the beginning of the best ending, the best anything to the whole MCU.
The best war that I've
The
ever
best
seen
war
in
ever
a movie.
in a movie. So the original three, Thor, Captain America, and Iron Man, they all get up and they're all walking towards Thanos. And of course, he doesn't have the gauntlet because he's the past.
So he hasn't made it yet.
Yeah, but he sent the other Gamora to go receive the Stark Gauntlet so he could snap and pretend to do it right then and there.
Mm-hmm.
And so he's just sitting there waiting for the Avengers, and then they show up, and he's like, and he says his quote from the trailer, "You can't live with your own failure. What did that bring to you? Back to me." And then like he puts on his helmet, and the gigantic sword. At first I thought, how are they gonna do that? How's that gonna be a good add into the film?
But it was basically like a boomerang.
Boomerang. Like he threw it and it would just come back to him.
It was like Cap's shield.
And then we'll get to that too. And then they just started fighting, and then Ant-Man, he shrinks down, goes to find War Machine and Hulk, and then he grows big, and then gets them. But while Captain Thor and Iron Man were fighting, Iron Man went for Thanos and he just knocked him back. Thanos actually almost killed Thor. Thor got Stormbreaker and Mjolnir, because when they went back to get the Reality Stone from the Ether, he was able to get Mjolnir. So he had basically two hammers this time to strike Thanos. And so Mjolnir, he knocks out of his hand, and Stormbreaker, he knocks it out of his hand. Thanos just like punching him over and over again. And then Thor tries to summon Stormbreaker, but Thanos catches it, and the axe end he was pushing down into Thor's chest, and he thought he was gonna die, but then Mjolnir starts to raise, and you're like, oh dang, Thor's gonna grab it and knock him in the head. It flies into Thanos, but past Thor, and then Captain America catches it.
Dude, that was the best part.
That gave you goosebumps.
That was probably the best part of the whole movie to me, honestly.
And then Cap just does a whole entourage of things. He hits him with the hammer. He does lightning hits. He does a lightning strike on him.
And then he throws his shield at him because he's got the shield and the hammer with him now. And so basically Thanos is losing to him. Mm-hmm. He can't beat him.
But then Thanos gets the upper hand. He gets his sword and then starts just rapidly hitting him with it, and then that starts to crack Cap's shield. And
it starts breaking and breaking until it's broken in half.
It's cut in half. Mm-hmm. So it's like there's a 50-50 chance the sword's going to hit the broken half or cut your arm off. Mm-hmm. And then Thanos launches him back, and then like again in the TV spot, he's like, what I'm about to do, I'm going to enjoy it very, very much. And so Cap, with his last stand, he tightens his shield like in the trailer, which I liked that. He tightens his shield. And then Thanos' whole Chitauri army and the Black Order is right behind him. And it's like a cinematic shot. Thanos with his whole army right here, and just one Captain America right there.
And then you hear
Falcon say, Cap, can you hear me? On your left. You look to your left. Black Panther, Okoye, and Shuri walk out of a portal, and then all these portals open up, and all of the Ashed Avengers come out, all regrouping into one final moment. You got Spider-Man, Star-Lord, Drax, Doctor Strange, Groot, Scarlet Witch. You got everyone that
you got
snapped.
Bucky,
Falcon. You have everyone that got snapped, besides the people that died before the snap. Mm-hmm. So Loki wasn't there. Heimdall wasn't there. Gamora wasn't there. And neither was Vision.
Yeah, Vision.
Anyway, and it's all this epic moment, and it's showing them going down the line. And then, like, I don't know who says it, but they say, Avengers. And then Cap catches Mjolnir, and he says, resemble. And then they all the armies just charge at each other. And it's just like, how can you beat that? How can you beat that?
That was such a good...
That is an epic moment, because like it's basically just the whole every army fighting each other.
And you know what scared me the most was I thought that was gonna be the end of the movie, right there.
Yeah,
because they started playing
they're walking right towards each other, and they're playing the Avengers theme, and you thought it was gonna cut the black and say to be continued, and I kind of got a feeling like that too. Yeah. Next thing you know, it just continues.
Yeah, they just all come together and they start fighting. And so, basically, what Hawkeye has the Gauntlet now.
Yeah,
he's running down the sewers because all the the aliens are chasing
Outriders.
Outriders
from Infinity War.
They're all chasing after him and everything. And then Gamora and Nebula past Nebula, and then
and then the Future Nebula was there. And then whatchamacallit, Future Nebula shot past Nebula.
Because she was trying to kill Hawkeye.
Yeah, trying to kill Hawkeye and get the Gauntlet. But my mom asked this question. She's like, even though Future Nebula killed past Nebula, doesn't that mean she should be dead? I said, no, because she killed her in the future. Because if she killed her in the past,
then she'd be dead
now. But since she killed her in the future,
it's just kind of like a duplicate.
Of you, like a spy or Terminator kind of stuff. Like you just kill them and they're dead. That's what I think. Well, of course, you know me. I don't know. And then they're all passing the gauntlet. Like Spider-Man has it at one point. He throws it to Black Panther, and then Black Panther tries to throw it to Ant-Man. If I'm correct?
Yeah, I think. Or no. He throws it back to Spider-Man, and then all the bullets start coming back down, and Spider-Man gets scared, and he starts like huddling, and he leaves the gauntlet over on the side. So it's just basically by itself.
And then Thanos goes and gets it, and he's trying to put it on, but then Captain Marvel comes in, and she destroys the ship. What's that ship called? The Destroyer? I don't know. I have to Google it. And she destroys the ship. She wipes out at least a quarter of the army, and then she's fighting Thanos. But of course, you think everything's okay. Thanos knocks her back, and then knocks Captain America and everyone, and then he's about to put on the gauntlet. And then Iron Man...
Wait. Before that, it was... Spider-Man gave it to Captain Marvel.
Oh, yeah, Spider-Man gave it to
Captain Marvel. And then he says, how are you going to get past them? Because it was a whole entire army.
Jatari.
And then... Jatari. And then all the women from the Marvel...
All the girl Marvel heroes just started fighting, and
it's just them, and they all fight them. It was Pepper Potts. She was in
She was in the rescue armor, which I was happy to see that.
Yeah, and then you got what's that girl from the
Valkyrie, and then
Scarlet Witch,
Hope Van Dyne, aka the Wasp, Okoye, Shuri. I feel like I'm missing someone. There's probably more. Again, this is a 3-hour movie. We can't remember everything. We're just remembering the moments we can.
Just summing it up.
Yeah. And then, thanks for adding that. And then continuing to what I was saying, they're starting to fight Thanos, and then he's about to put it on, and then Iron Man looks at Doctor Strange, and Doctor Strange holds up 1.
He's got one chance.
And this is the chance that he told him back in Infinity War that this was the only way. So Iron Man goes up. He tries his so best. Iron Man tries his so best, and he tries to grab the gauntlet, but Thanos punches him, and he just falls back.
I got so scared there because when after he said one chance, and then he pushes him back, and then Thanos comes in for the snap.
He comes in for the snap with the Stark Gauntlet, and I'm like. This they can't do. I'm like, there's no way they're gonna let Thanos win twice.
Yeah.
And then next thing you know, he's like, and then he looks, and none of the stones are in the gauntlet. He looks at Iron Man, and all the stones are in his hand. Well, and then right before Thanos snaps, he's like, and I am inevitable. And he snaps, he's like, and then you look, and there's no stones. And then Iron Man, and the sound, like the whirl sound, and you can see the energy going up with him, and Iron Man's like, and I am Iron Man, and it just snaps,
and then the whole entire screen goes white.
And then Rocket was just about to be in by one of those flying Jatari things from the first Avenger, and then that fades to dust, and then all the Chitauri, all the bad guys,
the ships, everything,
every single thing that even has an essence of evil in it is gone. And then Thanos is sitting there, and then I thought it was gonna be another shot from the trailer where all the other 3 are walking towards him to finish him, but he fades to dust right then and there. And then everyone's cheering, but then Iron Man sits down and his whole arm is burnt up to his face. You know that you just been stuck in space for 22 days, no food, and you just got recovery from being hunger and thirsty, and he's sitting there, and Peter comes up to him, Pepper Potts does, and who else? Captain, like everyone besides
Everybody.
like not like Scarlet Witch and all that, but they're all there. And then
Pepper Potts, she said.
she's like, it's okay, Tony. It's time for you to rest now, because early in the movie they were talking about how Tony wasn't sure if he should do the time travel for them or if he should just hang it all up, rest, enjoy his life with his wife and daughter.
He's got a daughter
He had a daughter. And then she's like, it's time for you to rest. So he rests. And of course, Iron Man's my favorite character. And I was like, okay, I didn't cry. That's okay. And then they had the funeral right at his home. And there's a speech going on. Yeah, it's a speech. It was Iron Man because he had a feeling he was going to take the bullet in this fight. And then he's explaining to everyone that it might be sad, but that it's all over and that everything's okay. And so, of course, it shows all the Avengers, but then it shows, like, Ant-Man and Scott, Scott, Hank Pym, Hope Van Dyne,
Everybody.
Jane Van Dyne. It shows everyone for the past 11 years of Marvel movies all together right then and there. And that's where I cried. Like, I was like, this man started it all, and he finished it all. And everyone from the past 11 films was there. And that's when I started to cry, and then I started crying even more because I realized in Infinity War when Spider-Man died, it was like losing his son. But in this one, it's like losing your father for Spider-Man.
Yeah. And then after that, Captain America wasn't he gonna return all the stones?
He was the one to return all the stones, and of course, quantum physics, they're different. Like, he's gone for 5 seconds there, but he's gone for 30 minutes in the quantum realm. Anyway, so they try to bring him back, but he doesn't. And then Professor Hulk says he went past his time loop to do everything. And then you see someone sitting on the bench, and then Sam Falcon goes to walk up, and it's old Steve Rogers. And then he's like, it's, I don't think he says it's my time, but he says that he basically
sums it up
that it's his time, and then he gives the Captain America shield to Falcon. So basically, like in the comics, Falcon's gonna be the next Captain America, and then like when they're holding hands, you see there's a ring on his ring finger. And then Falcon's like, "You're going to tell me who she is?" And he's like, "Nah." I kind of laughed there. He's like, "Nah, I'm not going to tell you." And then it cuts to him with Peggy.
Yeah, he was like, I got a life. I did what Tony told me.
Yeah, he's like, "I did what Tony told me to do. I got my life." And then it cuts to back into 1940s, 1950s, and it shows a house, and inside it shows young Steve Rogers dancing with Peggy Carter.
With his dance.
And then it's over. It's over.
They had no cutscene at the end.
They had no end credit scene. So if you want to go see this movie, be ready that there's no end credit scene. But if you are a true Marvel fan, we stayed there, and at the very end,
you started hearing a hammer.
You started hearing a hammer,
just like from the first movie.
From the very first Iron Man, him banging it and making his helmet, and I was like, that's the best thing. I don't care if there's Goose throwing up a Tesseract in Captain Marvel. That is the best credit, noise, sing, whatever you want to say ever. And then, like, for the original 6 Avengers, for the cast, basically, it showed, like, Hawkeye, him through the movies, and then his signature in cursive. Black Widow, her through the movies, signature in cursive.
Captain America, Hulk, everybody.
And then Iron Man, and everyone in our theater clapped and cheered because...
Yeah.
He started it, and he had to end it. And then that's it. And
No, that's basically all.
I don't think they will make another Avengers after this. If so, it will have to be about new Avengers, new Avengers, a different stuff.
I really don't want that to happen. I just want it to stay the same.
I see, and I didn't want to say this, but now that it's over and they don't have any Captain America or Iron Man left, like, I don't know if I'm gonna go see any Marvel movies now. I mean,
yeah.
I feel like I won't. It might, like, right now I feel like I won't, but I have a feeling I will anyway, even if it's like New Mutants or something like that. Because they closed the Fox deal, so something's gonna happen. Back and forth there, but yeah, I mean,
that basically sums up the whole entire story of the movie.
And I'll have to go see it again. I'll have to go see it again because I want to, but I have to see it again just to make sure I have everything. But I mean, right off the nose, I mean, I'm pretty sure that sums up Avengers Endgame.
Yep.
So I guess that's our spoiler review, I guess. And yeah, so go see Endgame. It is a really good movie, and just in case you're not knowing that it's a Marvel movie, this one's 3 hours.
Yeah, it's 3 hours.
3 hours, so just be ready for that.
Yeah.
But
there's no start scene or anything. It just started right off the back with Hawkeye.
It just started and then
there's no
Marvel Studios. I mean, I think it did after that. But
it did that, but it was a very short one.
It was a very short.
It wasn't like the usual
It was a
ones.
good way to start it. All right. So we're just going to end that now. Go see Avengers Endgame in theaters. Tickets are probably sold out. Go see it that weekend after or during this week. But yeah, that's our Avengers Endgame spoiler review.